volleyball because I think it's really fun to play and my team is really close, so we have really good chemistry, and I think that you grow as a person the longer you play.
High school sports really are an important aspect to our education system. By just being a part of a team, we learn to recognize and value teamwork and the effort while having fun. The two graphs that I'm showing you will give you a visual representation of the people who play sports and exceed well in high school versus the people who don't play sports and might not exceed very well. When asked if funding affects ability, people would probably say no because ability is a talent or skill which you could be born with. I had thought that athletes would have another opinion on funding, so I headed over to Brunswick High School to find out.
I think every team has to start from the bottom, so I don't think winning is all about funding. But when you think about it, when you get money into the weight room, get money into equipment, it will make your team better in the long run. I think the size of the school definitely affects funding. I mean, more students, more funding, and because we're a small school, we won't get as much money as maybe Oakdale or Middletown. But I think definitely compared to other volleyball teams of our size, 1A schools, I think we definitely match up against them and we can definitely, spank them.
So, when you're looking at a low funded school like Brunswick, where there might be less effort given because of the minimal amounts of equipment or attention they are receiving, are those players working hard even though they know that they're not being funded? And if they are working at a lower level than they actually can, are they applying that same amount of effort to their schoolwork?
The lack of funding is probably because we don't have very many parents involved and one parent can't do everything for the team.
Kaylee goes on to tell us how much time has been taken up weekly because of volleyball and how her grades have been affected. She states that she easily spends at least 20 hours a week completely focused on volleyball, which gives her minimal time to do her schoolwork. Her grades are good, mostly B's, but if there were more volunteers or parents to help set up before or after games, she could be spending more time studying and maintaining that high GPA you need to be eligible to play a high school sport. Now, by looking at these bar graphs, you can easily see that Brunswick High School volleyball stats are way below what they should be, which is the national average. Many things could have came to play in the differences of these stats. Much of it could have been from the low funding. Just as Jen had mentioned it earlier on, without funding, a sports team will have less weights in a weight room, worn down or overused equipment that is not benefiting the team like it should be, or even just something as simple as having volleyballs with the proper amount of air in them that is equal to a game ball. I believe funding plays a major role in the way a team plays, and the coaches do agree. The coaches at Brunswick High have needed to buy a new ball cart as well as new nets and other types of equipment that is needed to play the game correctly. These coaches do care about winning, but they also care about their players' schoolwork. They believe effort is key and they push their players to always do their best, even when they are given their worst.
Equipment can always help teams. I know with volleyball there's a lot of things that go into the conditioning and just the practicing in general that can really help us get better and improve.
This team may not win very often, but they are proud of how they play, and they keep each other's spirits up high. Because they are prepared for a loss, they are prepared for a failing grade. They obviously don't want to lose or fail a class, but these coaches have prepared them for life and have showed them what effort is, so even if those challenges do cross them, they know exactly how to deal with them. Although funding may affect the way students play in a high school team when it comes down to skill or accessibility, it might just make them work a little harder and hope for a better outcome. That is why I believe funding does have an effect on the players' grades and the way they play volleyball.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Are you recording? Okay, ask the question one more time. I feel that our team is alienated